Hi everyone, Claudia Brown here. A few people have asked me about my husband and my journey with Isagenix, so here it is. I retired about 2.5 years ago, and I was a very busy vice principal at an elementary school. I worked all day, sometimes into the evening, and when I got home, I was also an instructor for Queen's University for online courses. I had 3 kids, one of which is severely disabled, and I basically had gotten myself to a point where I was a toxic mess and had to retire. I was also overweight. I think I probably burnt out my adrenals to boot. And literally, I was shot, and I was scared as well, fearful that I might get a diagnosis of something very serious. So I decided to exercise, eat right. I was going to get good rest at all costs. I wasn't going to make any excuses for myself. The reason I did this is I really wanted to travel. I wanted to spend those golden years doing all those things I waited for all my life. And I knew that if I didn't take my health seriously, that I wasn't going to be able to do those things. So initially, when I first retired, I brought my weight down from 145 to 140, which was really good, but I still felt really tired. I did a musical at one point, and I brought my weight down even further, but I kept hovering back up to 140, and my target weight for my height should really be between 120 and 125. So I still had those last 15 pounds to lose, and I couldn't shake them. So about this time last year, my doctor recommended that I try Isagenix. He actually recommended it for both my husband and myself. And I couldn't do it at that point because they hadn't brought out the dairy-free formula, and I have severe sensitivity to both lactose and casein. So about this time, about July 2013 is when I started. Now, I just want to tell you about my doctor because he's very interesting. He's into bioidenticals. He's very health conscious, and he doesn't really have a pound to lose, but I think he wanted it because he wanted to increase his energy. He is almost in his 70s, I think. I think he could have retired ages ago, but didn't want to. He wanted to keep working, and this was his way, I think, of doing it. So anyway, I started 6 months ago, over 6 months ago, and I noticed a difference right away from anything I'd ever tried. And I have tried everything. I've tried Jenny Craig, Herbal Magic. I've tried Weight Watchers. What else have I tried? Nutrisystem. I haven't tried Dr. Bernstein. That's the one I haven't tried. But I had read a couple of reviews, and I just wasn't willing to go that Spartan in my eating habits. So, so I started, and I immediately felt great. I had energy, which I didn't have on all those other things. I could exercise. I felt good, and yet I was still losing weight. So my husband was watching me very carefully, and he said he didn't want to do it, but within 5 days after watching me, he ordered it and went on it as well. Anyway, to make a long story short, I lost 13 pounds my first month, and another additional 4 into my second month. And I didn't even really need to finish my second month, but I stayed on it because the products made me feel so good. And my husband's lost 27 pounds, and he is currently 189. I'm 123 pounds. So just wonderful. We feel great. We don't regret a thing. We're so glad we found this. And here's a funny thing. When I signed up, I told my sponsor that I wanted to be a member, but only because I wanted the great prices, and I wanted to be able to share it with my family or anybody that I knew really well that was interested. And I didn't want to do the business, no uncertain terms. And it was funny because about a week later, I called him back and I said, well, maybe I should look at this business. I figured that anything that works this great was going to be easy to sell. So that's what happened to me. That's how I got into the business as well. Now, people do ask me all the time, do you have to use the product once you've reached your desired weight? Now, some people don't. Some people can adopt great eating habits once they've reached their target weight, and they can go back to normal eating, and they can maintain that. For a lot of people, though, unless they've really been on the program for a good 90 days, and that's kind of how much it takes to really change those habits, they find that once they go off, some of those bad habits start creeping back, and they need to go back to using the product. For my husband and I, we didn't need to stay on 90 days, and we managed to keep our target weight all this time now. We're going into our 7th month. But we still do have one shake. We start our day with it for breakfast. And we do use energy shots if we're planning a really heavy workout. And that's all we use to maintain our weight. But we eat really, really healthily, and we've got great eating habits. So that's the answer to that question, and that's our story. Now, you can find a link on our website, dietchoices.ca, to our Facebook, and it's got some embarrassing before pictures, but it's also got our good after shots. Now, my after shot is at 127. So I do need to take another one, but I've got to wait until I'm not so ghostly white. So I'm going to wait till the spring, until I get some sun on me. So I wish you all the best with your journey. I know you're all trying hard to reach your weight, and you'll be able to do this with Isagenix. It's a wonderful product. It works, and it makes you feel wonderful too. It helps to make you feel younger and to give you energy so that you can do all that exercising and diet. That's what it takes to make the difference. Thanks, everyone, and thanks for listening.